Okay, consent grouping. Is there anything on the consent grouping that anybody wants to pull out for separate consideration today? Okay, then can I have a motion to approve consent grouping items 4A1 through 4D2?
I motion to approve the items.
A second?
Second.
Thank you. We will go first to a curriculum report with Sean Colley.
All right. Make sure this is on. So I'm filling in for my colleague tonight. She took very copious notes, so I will try to paraphrase and not to read verbatim. But we had a great curriculum meeting last week. We had two major presentations. The first one was from our Flex group, from John Fidgel, or Mr. Rapp as they call him. He's doing some amazing work there with those students at the academy. It's at the old transition building behind the Northern High School. There are currently 55 students enrolled in this program under his leadership. He's moving the academy away from the stereotypical behavioral credit recovery program, instead placing them to serve students who are school avoidance that are struggling with different mental health issues. He told some amazing stories where certain students that would not want to come to school are now in this program and actually are excited to come. Some of them now are showing enthusiasm, and actually when they make their credits and they're supposed to go back, they don't want to go back. They want to stay there because they're having such a great time and having great fun there. He's done a huge amount of work there with them. So it's a combination of in-person and online learning. They use the Northview Next program, which is Grow Main Street, and it's really around life skills and interdisciplinary curriculum, and they highlight engaging and motivating for the students. Some of the students, like I said, their goal is to return and back to the regular curriculum, and they're thriving when they go back, and then other ones, like I said, they want to stay. Mr. Rapp showed what he called the starfish story, which really, I think it's key on what he's doing and what a lot of educators in our district are doing, so I'm going to read that verbatim so we get that perfectly. An old man was walking on the beach one morning after a storm. In the distance, he could see someone moving like a dancer. As he came closer, he saw it was a young woman picking up starfish and gently throwing them into the ocean. Young lady, why are you throwing starfish into the ocean? The sun is up and the tide is going out, and if I don't throw them all back in, they'll die, she said. But young lady, do you realize that there are so many starfish on the miles of beach? You cannot possibly make a difference. The young woman listened politely, then bent over, picked up another starfish and threw it into the sea. It made a difference to that one. So that really, I think, sums up what he and the staff there are doing. He really reinforced is that it's not every day you get in a student's life, but you have to keep trying and trying and trying, and that's what they're doing there. It was really inspiring to hear his story and what they're doing there. So great work there. If you haven't had a chance, I would check that out, but really made a huge impact on me and the story that he said. And he basically broke it down and said he was one of those students. He was a student who really wasn't liking the core curriculum, and he got into some trouble growing up, and if he wishes there was a program like that they had growing up in his district. And he said that he really tells them the truth and says, that's who I am, I'm one of you, and they really relate to that. So it's a great story, and a great thing we're doing there. The second, Van Antwerp, she gave us a brief presentation on the curriculum that's going under 30-day review for our junior kindergarten program. So it's a brand new curriculum, specifically designed for preschool and pre-kindergarten, led by Dr. Nell Duke. She's a leading scholar in the field of literacy and early childhood education. Great First Aid is what it's called. It's a play-based curriculum and focuses on 8 interdisciplinary units throughout the year that will serve as a foundation and build strong background knowledge for our kids as they leave junior kindergarten, head to kindergarten and beyond. As an example, some of the units, they have a program called Ramp It Up, where students learn about ramps and wheels to move things around and help people. One project on the unit would be for students help with the delivery of their schools. Another unit, Farm to Table, where kids learn basic nutrition, how the food supply from farm to table is made, and really learn that 360 about food and how they can have an impact on that. So those are just two of the main things they're learning there. Another part of this curriculum is the research is backed by how young children learn. It's innovative, and it's aligned to standards from the National Education Organization. It prioritizes children's engagement, emphasizes robust family involvement, and comes with continuous professional development for our teachers, which is key. That this program allows them to really grow and understand what they need to do to make our students beneficial. It's great. It's the district's currently assessing what they already have as far as tools, because there will be a spend on some things they need for these different curriculums, but they're trying to figure out what they have already. So really great there. During this 30-day review, all of us can be part of this on the board. We can learn about firstgrade8.org, follow up. There's a 4-minute video. I've started the process. I think it's really informational to get in there, understand what this is going to be. So once you get your account set up, God, the sky's the limit, which is really cool. And lastly, we got an update on our junior kindergarten screening. The eastern side of the district completed a couple weeks ago. We had 67, we screened 67 students, and there were more that signed up outside of those zones, which is great. Screen will allow us to see, that evening will allow us to see who gets in pre-K versus kindergarten. So super excited about that, excited to see that going forward. As a reminder tonight, we're going to be approving several of our resources that the curriculum group has reviewed in the last 30 days. The Alberto.io, the IXL for K-8, Quick Reads, Quill, vocabulary.com, and then we're going to obviously pre-approval for pre-English 1 and pre-AP English 2. But overall, it was a good curriculum meeting, really nice, and that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Colley? All right, we will head on over to our finance report with Dr. Mashad.
Okay, we had a productive meeting as well. Started with a couple discussion items. We reviewed our monthly financial statements that were in the packet. Nothing, again, notable, all on track with where we expect to be, where we were about this time last year. We got a great construction update. A lot of the work that we can see in the springtime now emerging. Pine Ridge successfully transitioned to its final phase over spring break, so they will be working through the summer, but will be done for next school year, the beginning of next school year. The Eastern Middle School entrance is also finishing up by the end of this year, so that will move in over the summertime as well and be ready to go in the fall. The sports fields at Eastern and Northern are all coming along. Eastern High School is weather dependent, a couple of weeks hopefully away from being done and getting spring sports out there on those fields. And the Northern field will continue over the summer as well, or finish over the summer. And Central construction will start again in this summer, as we mentioned, so that's exciting. The Aquatic Center planning is going as expected. Still plan to bid that work out this summer, as we've discussed before. And the final thing that we talked about that we will continue to say until the day it happens is the ballot on May 6th. We'll have the operating millage on it. We, as the board, can encourage everybody to vote yes for that. It's a critical part of our general fund, and the funding that goes towards all of our teachers and our salaries and our curriculum, all of the core materials in our district. It's an important piece of what we do. Information is all over the place. The district, I think, has done a great job of letting people know the information around this operating millage. So it's online, it's on social media, it's on yard signs in front of the schools. So find all your information there. Tell everyone, May 6th, please go out and vote. And please go out and vote yes. That brings us to our action items. I can start with some of the curriculum resources that were mentioned, just putting some prices to those. For the Albert.io software, which is replacing IXL for the secondary level, that's a 2-year license from Learning by Doing. It costs not to exceed $76,370 from the general fund. The second was the updated Quick Reads intervention from Savas. That is for K-8 schools. That's an amount not to exceed $73,100, and that is purchased through the Section 35J grant. The next is the renewal of IXL, which will now be for K-8 only, which services about 6,000 students we have K-8. This is another 2-year subscription, amount not to exceed $198,000 out of the general fund. And then we have a few additional items as well. One is a technology backup system replacement. The current hardware that we have is at its end-of-life cycle, and looking to upgrade as well to some cloud-based capabilities and some other industry standard things that we don't have now. This was bid out. 5 proposals were submitted. 2 of them were incomplete or inadequate, so they were thrown out. And the apparent low bidder suggested equipment that would also phase out earlier than our next kind of refresh cycle, so they were excluded as well. Thus, the next low bidder is the recommendation we have here, which is Trace 3, a group called Trace 3 LLC, for an amount not to exceed $327,000. That'll be from 2025 capital projects. The next item is a new student transportation van. We have 2 of them, the 10-passenger vans that help with smaller sports teams and smaller student activities. We have 2 of them. We have 3 high schools that often need to use them, so our current setup still sees us occasionally renting vans or having to figure out larger vehicles that we don't necessarily need to transport those groups. So this will be for a 3rd van to add to our fleet. Quoted out as necessary, the low bidder is being recommended from Mobility Works, an amount not to exceed $62,925 out of the general fund. Worth noting, used vehicles were also looked at. I mean, the whole landscape of new vans was kind of appraised. The market as it is, used vehicles aren't at much less than new vehicles, and obviously this gives us our best shot at longevity for this purchase, so that's why this new purchase is being recommended. The next is a replacement for the main gymnasium floor at Forest Hills Eastern High School. That is the original floor that's on there now, was flown in from the Atlanta Olympics at the time the building was built. Pretty cool. Not easy to maintain, that floor. It is oak. We learned quite a lot about it. It's a material that's not very sandable, not very levelable, not easy to fix splinters and little fissures that are in the floor now. One of very, very few oak gym floors in the world, it sounds like. No, at least around us, this is not the standard, for good reason and not made for longevity. So this was bid out in 3 different categories. 6 bids were brought back, recommending the low bidders in all of them, reviewed by our friends at OAK, who also recommend these folks to do the work. All of that information was in the packet. All the contracts together are for an amount not to exceed $840,197. That'll be on the 2025 capital projects as well. We have the one Kent County refunded property tax, as we see in the packet. And the final piece is a budget amendment to our 24-25 general fund. We did this just a couple of months ago, and we have additional updated information to add to this. Thanks to the business office, we're always trying to make sure that the budget that we have on record is the most fitting with the most updated information that we have. A lot of detail that we all received, and that was in our amendment packet. Just essentially the bones of the change. Again, this is only for the general fund. A few changes just to the revenue side and the expense side. A lot of these were in and out things. They were categoricals in terms of grants, or they were MIPSers dollars that affect both sides of the budget equally. And there were a few other items that we saw that were $100,000 here, $200,000 there. Things like additional interest income that we accrued more than we had budgeted for, slightly less in property tax repayments than we had budgeted for, some changes made at the state level in terms of special ed transportation costs. We had different dual enrollment and online tuition costs. All together, on the revenue side, we are essentially taking in about $3.1 million more than we had budgeted. So that's positive on the revenue side. And in expenses, we are ultimately paying about $2 million more projected than we had planned. So to the bottom line, it takes a roughly $3 million spending deficit that we had accounted for this year down to about a $2 million spending deficit, which is a good thing for our bottom line. Leaves us with an anticipated fund balance at the end of this fiscal year of 16.33%, from 15.75%. So not major changes, but enough to trigger an amendment or to update those on our books. So that was done, or that's in front of us tonight in the packet, that language to push through this amendment to the general fund. And that was our meeting. Any questions on any of that?
On the quick reads, is that a, you know, we have, some of these are 2-year cycle. Did that one have a cycle, like how many years?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Sorry.
Do you know?
I have to ask them, I just saw me reading that.
Is it a 2-year subscription again to Quick Reads? Albert I.O. I know was, IXL is 2 years.
That's
I
fine,
can find
yeah,
it.
I can get it
forget.
after, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the base one.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have
No,
that.
that's fine.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We need to vote on this now. Let's move on. Okay, so can we please have a vote on our consent agenda?
Dr. Michaud?
Yes.
Ms. Commode?
Yes.
Ms. DeBoer?
Yes.
Mr. Colley?
Yes.
Dr. Fauci?
Yes.